Good morning, good morning, good morning. Kiss up to God. To God be the glory for all the wonderful works that He does. How are you? Happy Monday. I'm on vacation for a week. Yes. Thank you, God, for vacation. Thank you, God, for another do over. Thank you, God, for life, health, and strength. Thank you, God, for family and friends. Thank you, God, that we are in the land of the living, looking at another beautiful day that we've never seen before. Thank you, God, for brand new mercies. Thank you, God, for brand new grace. Thank you, God, that you love us enough, that you are just with us. Thank you. And God, if we have the opportunity to say, I'm sorry, allow us to say it because I'm sorry can restore a whole lot of things. It can recover a whole lot of things. How are you? My name is Jennifer Brooks. I am your Southern Belle. I'm so glad that you're with me today. Oh, today is another hot topic because of some of the things that I deal with and things that I see that we're gonna deal with all the time because of the seasons. The seasons are in and out, all over the place. Principalities and warfare. This is deep. It's so deep that I'm only gonna touch the subject. I mean the surface. That's how deep this is. But anyway, um, it's come from Ephesians, the sixth chapter, verse 12. For our struggles is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the power of the dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. So, good morning. So, this is what I'm going to deal with today because the two battlegrounds are our mind and our heart. Our body can, I feel like it's the mind and the heart because, see, the body can be hurt and stuff and that can recover. But our mind, once something happens to us in our heart, once somebody mess with our heart, those are very hard to recover. And you really have to get a strategy. And you really have to study who you're fighting against. You're not fighting against flesh. You're fighting against principalities. And we do have to understand that. Principalities, let me read what they say about it. Okay, principalities are an order of angels that guide and protect nations, groups of peoples, and institutions. They're bands of angels that are responsible for ensuring they fulfill their divine ministry. Now, warfare. Warfare is the act of waging war or conflict against the enemy or the characteristics and activities that are common to war. It's the struggle between good and evil, the struggle between right and wrong, the struggle between good and bad. So when I say the principality is a band of angels, if God got a band of angels, who do you think the devil has? He has a band of demons. And the band of demons are in rank also. They're in rank of their purposes. And their purpose is to get your moral impurities. Your moral impurities, which is sex, which is lust, fornication, adultery, all that is under that. And then they get into your bitterness. Now that bitterness is definitely in the mind and in the heart. That touches them both. Because bitterness is really, really a really bad struggle for us. Because if we don't forgive, we open up that avenue for the devil to constantly step on those triggers to keep you bitter and angry. And then the temporal values, which is money, possessions, stuff that's temporary that we can't take with us. People want to hold on to stuff that it's going to stay here once you're gone. We were born with nothing. We're going to die with nothing. But that's so important to people sometimes. So that's how the devil mess with you. He gets into our minds. And see those men, you see these young women walk around all thin and looking good and this, that, and the other. That's dealing with our sexual immoralities. And women too, all buff looking guys, looking good, all clean shaved. That's us. This is what we're doing because we're looking with the eyes, that flesh. We're looking with the eyes. And then that bitterness right there, that is, like I stated before, bitterness deals with anger that we can't let go, that past, that we can't get over, that forgiveness that we can't do. If we don't forgive, we'll never move on. We'll never move on. And that will stay. That's almost like a cut, like a wound, like when something is cut and you're putting salt in it and you're waiting for it to heal, but it won't heal. It just stays open. And as long as it stays open, it's going to always hurt. You're going to have to close that wound. You're going to have to close that bitterness by forgiving, because you don't forgive, you can't move on because you won't let it go. If you'll be so surprised if you forgive, because you got to think about it. You got to realize what you're fighting against, because sometimes when people hurt you, it's not them. It's the spirit within them. It's the flesh that's within them, because when they hurt you, they hurt God. So you got to learn some kind of way. As they say, you can forgive, but you won't forget. And you can forgive. That don't mean, you don't have to go and deal with them again, but you can let it go. You can breathe and forgive. And once you do that, sometimes you'll be so surprised of the relief that's released from you. Once you let that stuff go. And then, as I state, the temporal things. This stuff is not going with you anywhere. You can have the biggest house. You can drive a Mercedes. You can make $250,000 a year. But if your soul ain't right and you ain't right with God, oh well, he takes the just and the unjust. He takes the rich and the poor. It doesn't matter. But we're so busy holding on to that stuff instead of sharing it, instead of giving some of that stuff. Some people have enough to give to help other people. They won't. We have enough to give of ourselves to help the next person. That's what testimonies are about. That's what inspiration is about. It's giving of yourself to someone else. Instead of looking down, you pull up. Because there's so much going on. We're dealing with so much warfare. You don't believe it's right? Look in your churches. I'm going to hit it right on that. There's so much division in there. You walk in and you think, you're trying to usher in the spirit, but thank God that I am the church when I go to the building. I don't go to church. I go to the building because I am the church. God dwells within me. And if you feel like that God dwells within you, you take him with you and you elevate him, because the building does nothing but hold you in there. Look at the government. Divided. Horrible. This one's going to do this, that one's going to do that. Nobody can do anything until we try to come together. That's why God is waiting for some things to get together, because he can't come back. We have to get it together. We have to build his kingdom back up. It's so many things going on that's tearing stuff and separating stuff. And the warfare is real. Look at families. Divided. The devil just keeping you divided and keeping you hurt. Keeping that bitterness going on because he don't want it. Because if you come together, imagine the change. Look at the communities divided. Look at the races divided. Look at the sexes, men against women, women against men. That's why the marriages are not, God instituted marriages. That's why the marriages are not together, because the women are, I don't need a man. The men is, well, I don't need, a woman have to do this, have to be that. What? Get back to the word. Get back to the word. Man is the head and woman is the helpmate. That's in Genesis. It's the helpmate. So it shouldn't be a battle, but it is, because the devil, he dispersed those demons up in here. He got them principalities going on in rank, and those ranks are killing us. And we don't understand that it's about the warfare. We need to get up under the protection, and that's where the armor comes in at. That's another, I did a video on that already. The armor of God. We have to protect. The helmet needs to protect our mind, the breastplate, our heart. Because he knows if he can get in our mind and keep us thinking that we're seeing things that we don't see, and keep us thinking that we're doing things that we'll not, and keep us there. If he stays in our mind, and if he gets in our heart and he hurts us, that heart deals with that emotion, our emotions. And women are very emotional creatures. And I think that's what we get in when we can't forgive, because we're so emotional. And oh, woe is me, I'm so hurt. But some of that stuff is made to happen because it matures you. Can you imagine never being hurt a day in your life? I don't even think that's possible. Some things are permitted to move us forward. Some things have to happen because this is what we felt like we wanted. So we have to deal with the hurt. So when you deal with the hurt, don't sit there and be angry. It's time to move on. It's time to forgive. It's time to move on. It's time to stop being bitter. Stop dealing with the temporal things because you can't take it with you. And the sexual immortality, oh my goodness. Stop dealing with that. And it's hard because as long as those avenues are open, the demons are all over. They're dispersed all over the place. And they know how to get to you. They know how to trigger you. They know what triggers you. They know what you like to. And as long as he knows that, and as long as you don't understand that you're not fighting against that, and you're fighting in your real fight, you'll go ahead and do that armor. You'll go ahead and you'll put on your armor, and you'll go ahead and fight against that, because we're not fighting against flesh. Stop fighting each other. Stop fighting against each other. And know the real enemy. And once we know that, and once we figure that out, things will change. We will be able to move on. We have to develop a strategy. We have to develop a plan to move on, to help build the kingdom. Instead, we're stuck in bitterness. We're stuck in the sex. We're stuck in the temporary things, in that quicksand, because the demon knows those are the avenues that he can get us most. Close those wounds. Put on that armor. And go up under the umbrella of protection and live in his will. And see things change. If you think anybody needs to hear this, please share. I appreciate you guys for coming on. Thank you for coming on. I don't have my glasses on. Mrs. Devin, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you this morning. And just keep it moving, guys. Come on now. We're not fighting against flesh. We're not fighting against flesh. It's a warfare going on. And you guys need to really recognize. Thank you so much. My name is Jennifer Brooks. I am your Southern Belle. Keep subscribing. Keep liking. Keep commenting. And God bless. Y'all have a blessed day now. You hear? God bless.